Parma's last 10 years have been mental. In 2015, the club was declared bankrupt and they were relegated to the 5th tier of Italian football. But this led to 4 consecutive promotions in a row, landing themselves back into the Serie A for 3 seasons before they got relegated once again to the Serie B. Now guys, I for one think Parma have suffered enough and it's time we turn things round for them. So today I'm going to make that happen by becoming their brand new manager. The mission is to not only get them playing Serie A football once again, but to win them their first ever Champions League trophy and crown them the world's best club. But considering they went bankrupt not long ago, there's only one way to do this. No transfers, no youth academy, no scouting system. I am only allowed to sign free agents. So here is the team that we've loaded into in Season 1. And honestly guys, I didn't really know what to expect loading into this team, but it was way better on paper than I actually thought it would be. I mean, for starters, look at how young this team actually is. There's only 3 players in the entire squad that are over 30 years old. And the contract situation is absolutely nothing to worry about either. Only 4 players who we need to sort out. And the icing on the cake, guys, they've got quality players like Adrian Burnaby, they've got Hernani, they've got Antonio Kolak, and also Dennis Mann. I know that looking at this team right now, it's a bit all over the shop, but trust me, guys, we've got a very solid team to begin with. And we've also got a very tidy budget as well, 14 mil in Season 1. But we all know that this is a free agent video, so there's a couple of rules that we've got to follow. The first one being we're allowed a maximum of 3 signings every single season. And we can only sign players as high rated as our highest rated player. So in our case, that's Dennis Mann, who's 74 overall. So looking at that 14 million, it seems like a bit of overkill now, doesn't it? But before we make any financial improvements to the side, we're going to make tactical ones first, starting with the formation. The 4-3-3 attacking variation is the one we're going with. We've got no CDMs in the team, a couple of centre mids, a cam, and a couple of wingers. It just makes sense. And we are partnering that up with the gegenpressing tactical vision. We've got a pretty young side, guys, so they've definitely got the legs for this. And after meddling with the squad a bit, this is the starting 11 I'm comfortable going into Season 1 with prior to making any signings. And speaking of making signings, that's the last thing we've got to do because we've sorted the coaching system out and we've also sorted the contract situation out too. And that leaves us 13 million in our budget solely to bring in free agent signings. But guys, just to avoid being repetitive and bringing the same players in Season 1, there's only 2 players I'm actually going to bring into the team. One of which is Karim Boudiaf. He's 32, he's 71 overall. I'm bringing this guy in purely for squad depth because there's a lot of players that we're going to be loaning out. And following him is Cesar Huerta. He's 22, he's 74 rated, and let's be honest guys, it wouldn't be a good being free agent video without at least one Mexican free agent signing buddies. And there we go guys, both players have been signed up, Huerta on a 4-year deal and Boudiaf on a 2-year deal. But that's not the only thing I did. I sent a silly amount of players out on loan, as you guys can see, just to make way for the players in the starting 11. But the last thing I've done is trained Anthony Partapila to go from a centre forward to a central attacking midfielder. Let's see what he goes to. 72 rated. That was a little bit disappointing, wasn't it? But with that all done and dusted, now this is the starting 11 going into Season 1 with Parma. Now I know on paper it doesn't look incredible right now, but there's a couple of players I'm expecting big things from this year. 2 of which are our centre backs Below and Sasati. I mean, they're both under 22 years old. I want to give these guys as much time as I possibly can to show me what they can do. There's also Burnaby. He's only 72 rated, 22 years old. I'm really hoping I can build the team around this guy. And finally there's Cesar Huerta. He's 74 overall, only 22 years old. You guys have praised him up so much in the comments. I'm just hoping he delivers. Now in real life, Parma are 4 points clear top of the table in Serie B, so I'm quite interested to see how we get on ourselves. But before we get to the league, guys, look at the state of the improvements in some of these players, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, look at our goalkeeper. He's up to 69 overall from 63 rated, only 20 years old. We may have just found our goalkeeper, you know. And we may have also found our striker too, because Adrian has got 19 goals and 1 assist in 39 games, and you better believe I'm calling him Adrian because there's no way I'm going to be able to pronounce that second name. Now, if I was to guess how we're done just by looking at these stats, I'm honestly not too sure. Maybe we just about scraped the playoffs. But we didn't just scrape it, we are well in the playoffs alongside Como, Bari, Sampdoria, Ascoli and Cremonese. We were only 4 points off automatic promotion, but if we are to get promotion this year, we got to do it the hard way. Now, we weren't in the quarters of the playoffs, so I'm assuming because we finished 4th, we go straight to the semis. points. But in the semis, we beat Bari 2-0 and we proceed to the final where we play against third place Como. And ladies and gents, we are promoted to the Serie A after beating them on away goals. I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought it had gone to penalty, but I do not give a rat's backside. We've done it, ladies and gents, in season 1. I mean, when you actually compare how we did compared to Como, it was so evenly matched. So that one could have gone either way. However, the Coppa Italia only went one way. We got annihilated in round 2 by Monza. But ladies and gents, this team in front of you has got themselves promotion to the Serie A. I mean, it's definitely a solid team, but there's a lot of work to do. I mean, we need to sort our defense out just a little bit. Our midfield needs sorting out. We do need to get pretty lucky next year when it comes to free agent signings, especially when you consider who we're going to be up against next year. Inter Milan, AC Milan, Roma, Napoli, Juve, Fiorentina. We are going to be up against it, ladies and gents. We may be promoted this year, but our journey with Parma has only just begun. Now, last year we established we need to improve our defense, and Moussa Diarra is definitely improvement on that left back position. He's only 23, 73 overall. This is just a win-win for everybody involved. And just like that, guys, there he is in the Parma kit. That's 1 transfer out of 3 for season 2. Now we just need a couple of better centre-backs than Below and Sassati, and I'm actually happy to go into season 2 with this team. But remember, guys, we can only bring in free agents as high rated as our highest rated player. In our case, that would be Cesar Huerta at 78 overall. But good news, guys, I found a centre-back we can sign. Amar Al-Amri. He's only 19, he's 72 overall. I'm really not too sure who's pre-gen or regen this guy's supposed to be. All I know is he's 19, he's 72 rated, he's a bloody good defender. And following him is Sun Gautu Magase. I've definitely got that name wrong, but he's 20, he's 72 overall. He's got a decent market value. Maybe we may have just found ourselves a hidden gem. And there we go, guys, just as quickly as it started, that is our transfer window done, as we've used up all 3 of our transfers. But is our team going to be strong enough to cope with the likes of Napoli, Roma, AC Milan? I'm not too sure. Season 2 is going to be incredibly interesting. Guys, I'm honestly gobsmacked. We are smack bang mid-table in the Serie A as a newly promoted team, man. I'm absolutely gassed at this. I mean, as we scroll down to the bottom of the table, as you can see, we're nowhere near the bottom 3. I really underestimated how good we actually are. And just look at this. We made it to the round of 16 before Inter Milan knocked us out in the Coppa Italia. I mean, just look at the team already, man. We've only been in charge for 2 seasons and we've already transformed it into a pretty damn solid squad. I mean, Dennis Mann's 83 rated now, Huerta's 82 rated, our striker Adrian's gone up to 79 rated. Everybody's pouring in a right shift. But then you look at the stats and it gets underwhelming. 10-3 for Huerta, 9-4 for Dennis Mann, 9-2 for our striker, and then it's absolutely dreadful from there. But I don't blame that on our front 3, to be honest. I blame that on our cam, Partipilo. If we get a better attacking midfielder next year, we may see a massive difference. But we can't let the stats overshadow how big of an achievement this is. Parma, in our first season back in the Serie A, got mid-table and we comfortably survived. That is a massive dub. But we can't celebrate for too long. We've got to try to take this team to the next level, but we all know that's not up to me. We've got to get so lucky with those free agents in season 3. But before we get to the next season, if you're enjoying this free agent video so far, leave it a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. Now, guys, at the end of season 2, I said we needed a better attacking midfielder to help our front 3 score goals, and I feel like I've definitely upgraded that position. We've just signed Gianluca Gaetano. He's 25, he's 78 overall. I've got high hopes that this guy can turn into an absolute beast in the next 4 or 5 seasons. And there he is in the starting 11. Now we just need a better centre mid than Hernani and maybe a better fullback, and we're good to go into season 3. Now, the centre mid I found isn't the best, but he'll do. Luis Kuki's 28, he's 75 overall. The worst case scenario, we use him for 3 years whilst we try to find somebody better. But the free agents list delivered when it came to the fullbacks. Mario Hurtado, only 17, already 75 rated. We are going to loan out Diarra and make sure he gets all the game time this season. He needs to improve. And there we go, guys. All 3 of our transfers have been used up, which leaves the team looking like this. And honestly, I reckon we're going to do pretty damn well this year. Our attacking midfield is much better, our defense is much better, and our goalkeeper's way better now than he was this time last year. Honestly, do not be surprised if we make it into Europe. Or maybe not, guys. We finished exactly where we did last year, even though we massively improved the team in my eyes. I don't see how we haven't got a better finish this season, I'll be real. And this time we made it to round 3 of the Coppa Italia before once again getting knocked out by Monza. Now, I'm officially confused, guys. How have we not finished higher than 11th in the league? Granted, I may have been a little bit overzealous when I say we could be getting Europe, but we should be doing way better than 11th. But looking at the stats, guys, it looks like Adrian really bailed us out. 22 goals in 40 games. Imagine what we'd have done this season without him. I think we'd have actually got relegated. But I might have clicked him what went wrong. Anthony Partipilo got more game time than Gaetano. I mean, maybe we just have to loan this guy out or simply release him next year just to ensure Gaetano gets the game time he needs. But then again, it might be the gegenpressing tactical vision. It might be a very overpowered tactic to use, but it might not suit Parma. One way or another, guys, we've got to try and figure out what went wrong, because next year we have to be doing better than just 11th. Okay, we're now 4 seasons in with Parma, and I've sent Moussa Diarra, Anthony Partipilo, and Eduardo Corvi out on loan. This is step 1 in making sure that we do better this year. I want to make sure that the other players in those positions that I want in the starting 11 actually play in the starting 11. The next thing I've done, and I never do this, I've actually messed with the in-game instructions of every single player. Hopefully this will make a difference. And I've also come to the realization that these 3 positions we need to search for on that free agents list no matter what this year. Starting with our centre-back, Al Amri. He's only 21 granted, but he's 76 rated, and as you can see from his development, it'll take him a long time to improve. And it's the same story with our right-back, 34 weeks to become a 78 rated fullback, man. We need somebody better. And finally, we need a better centre-mid than Lewis Cook, but honestly, this really shouldn't come as a surprise to you lot. He's definitely the weakest part of this squad. This means Martin Turk is keeping his spot in the team. It'll only take him a week to become a 78 rated player anyway, and I've got a strong feeling his development is still going quite strong. So it's established we've done everything we can tactics wise. We've loaned players out just to ensure other players get game time. We just need to bring in a centre mid, a centre back, and a right back if we can. Unfortunately, the best midfielder I could find is Matthias Jensen. He's 30, he's 77 overall, 1 rating higher than Lewis Cook, but you know what, it's better than nothing. But we defo found a better centre back, guys. Matteo Gabbia, only 26, 78 overall. Maybe we can turn this guy into a much better player than he is already. But the right back role is definitely the most promising one. 16-year-old Lamine Hassan, he's 74 rated already. We're definitely going to loan out our current right back just to make sure he gets the game time he needs to hopefully develop into a monster. And there we go, guys. 3 transfers later, that is officially Season 4's transfer window done and dusted. But this year I'm taking no chances. Lewis Cook and Del Prato have been both sent out on loan just to make sure that the players I've brought into the team actually get the game time I want them to get. But the question of the day, guys, are these 3 signings enough to take us from 11th in the league to finally a higher spot in the table? Guys, I'll be down. We've got top 4 football this year in the Serie A, and if I'm not mistaken, we've got Champions League football for Season 5 now. I cannot believe all we've done is actually worked. I think loaning those players out and altering the tactics in-game was actually a game changer. And just look at this, we've beaten Roma 2-1 in the Coppa Italia final. That's our first piece of silverware as Parma manager. In looking at the team, guys, everybody's happy, everybody's improving, everything is looking up in Season 4. And the stats definitely demonstrate a season of success. 26-6 for Adrian, 24-4 for Dennis Mann, and 14-13 for Cesar Huerta. What a season. I cannot believe altering the in-game tactics has actually made this much of a difference. I'm going to start doing this from now on. I feel like I've been lacking in this department. But speaking of lacking in certain departments, a new cam and a centre mid is definitely on the cards for next year, especially now that we've got Champions League football, for goodness sake. Don't get it twisted, we've got a good team, but if we're playing against the likes of PSG and Real Madrid, right now I don't feel like we stand a chance. We definitely need to try and improve the team as much as possible. But by now we all know with the free agents list you get what you're given, and there's only 3 players I can actually bring into the team. The first player is striker Moritz Brzezinski from Germany. He's 6'3", 26 years old, 75 overall. I think this guy might be a half-decent second-choice striker for us. Following him is Tommy Doyle. He's 25, 81 overall. He's not the best player in the world, but he's definitely a welcome addition to that starting 11. And finally, Tiago Castro, a 17-year-old centre-back from Portugal. I mean, he's definitely not amazing now, but I'm going to send him out on loan in a couple of years, and hopefully when he comes back, we may just be able to fit him into the team. And there we go, ladies and gents. It's not the transfer window we wanted, but it's the transfer window we got. Let's just hope that these 3 players can actually make a difference this season. But admittedly, we are throwing them in the deep end because it's our first season in the UCL in Group F alongside Frankfurt, FC Porto and Genk. But honestly, that group, we can get out of that quite easily. I mean, this team is defo capable of big things this year. We've only simulated a couple of weeks into this season and already a couple of players have improved. And so far from 2 games, we've won 1 and drawn 1. It's a decent start. Let's just hope that we can keep this going until the very end of the campaign. But guys, it wasn't to be in the end. We actually did worse than last year. 6th in the Serie A at the end of Season 5. How have we gone backwards when we've actually improved the team? We also got our backsides handed to us by Juve in the Super Cup semis. But we went on to beat them in the Coppa Italia final. That's such a weird season, isn't it? But on the bright side, we comfortably made it out of Group F and we go to the knockouts, where we get annihilated by Manchester City. Benfica and Sporting were right there. Why couldn't we have drawn against them? But I have to be honest, looking at this team, I feel like we've massively underachieved. How don't we get top 4 with this squad? I mean, look at the stats as well. Adrian with 36 goal contributions, 20 for Dennis Mann, 20 for Cesar Huerta, and 18 for Burnaby. I mean, that is actually really good. I don't even feel like we need a better attacking midfielder. Obviously, we do to compete in the UCL, but I don't feel like that's where we're going wrong. Maybe it's time to refocus our attention on the back 4. Maybe once we sort this out, we'll do better in the league and in Europe. Now, guys, I know I said it wasn't crucial we brought in a better attacking midfielder, but I feel like we may have just found one. We've just signed Ukrainian international Yarmolenko. He's 24, 79 overall with 21.5 million. That leads me to believe this guy could become something special. This absolutely means Gaetano is getting loaned out for at least 12 months, man. We need to give this guy a go in the starting 11. That leaves us with 2 signings left to try and sort this defense out as much as we possibly can. But honestly, guys, I'm not really getting my hopes up. But then again, guys, maybe I should. Agoston Ilek is the player we found. 17, 78 rated. I'm pretty sure this is Willie Orban's regen. But you know what, guys? He's our player now. Now, I couldn't find any more defenders, but I did find Oscar Bobby's 24, 79 overall. We need a decent backup winger, and this guy fits the bill. And that is yet another transfer window in the history books. We are slowly but surely building this team up to be the best team in the world right now. Admittedly, it's a slow build, but we've got our players out on loan. I've done all I can. They've got to take it from here. But guys, I was completely wrong. We aren't in the UCL. We're in Group E of the Europa League alongside Rangers, Fenerbahce and Dynamo Zagreb. But honestly, I feel like the Europa League's the standard we're currently at right now, which having said that, we should absolutely smoke the Europa League. I mean, look at the team, guys. Every single player, if it's only by 1 or 2 at least, is improving every single season. I mean, look at our front 3, for God's sake. They should solo the Europa League by themselves. For as good as the team is, they're not doing well in the Serie A. 2 draws from our 2 opening games. We've got to be doing better than this if we actually want to get back in the UCL. And guys, if the development of the players is anything to go by, we've had a good season. Look at some of the improvements still at this stage in career mode, man. I'm telling you now, guys, we've got top 4 football once again and maybe UCL. I mean, the stats are looking good as well. 21-1 for Adrian, 19-3 for Dennis Mann, 19-13 for Cesar Huerta. However, our new attacking midfielder has had a massive stinker. But regardless of that, guys, we've got top 4 football once again with our highest finish yet, 3rd in the Serie A. And we were only 3 points away from winning it as well, guys. I'm telling you now, we are closing in on more silverware with this. But we once again got knocked out in the semis of the Super Cup, this time by AC Milan. And Juve knocked us out in the quarters of the Coppa Italia, this time on penalties. But we did top Group E in the Europa League, so we comfortably go through to the round of 16, where AC Milan once again get the better of us. I'm sick of them knocking us out of competitions. First the Super Cup, now the Europa League. Get stuffed, AC Milan. But you know what the annoying thing is? As good as this team actually is, there's only 2 positions that let us down. Our central attack midfielder role and our centre-back. Everywhere else is golden. But the good news is, Agoston Ilek had a great year at Chelsea. 3 overall improvement. You know what, guys? We're going to bring him back to the club next year. Sod Gabby. But unfortunately, Gaetano didn't have a magical year at Aston Villa, so next year we will be looking for for a new attacking midfielder. And you know what, guys? For Season 7, we're raising all expectations. I want the title. I want to get to the finals of the Super Cup. I want the Coppa Italia again, and I want to at least make the semis of the UCL. No excuses, no exceptions. And guys, believe me, the player that we've just signed is definitely going to help us achieve every single one of those things that I just said. We have just signed Dani Olmo. He's 31, 87 overall. I do not know what RB Leipzig are playing at letting this guy go for a free, but do you know what? Their loss is definitely our gain. And just look at the starting 11 now, ladies and gents. I'm not even going to try and improve this team anymore because the chances of me finding players as good as these lot in the free agents list are slim to none. But we do need a better second choice goalie than Corvi. I mean, if anything happens to our starting 11 keeper, this guy is who we're going to have in goal, and I do not trust this guy to catch a ball, never mind save a bloody shot. Luckily, Will Bowden is a free agent, 22 years old, 75 rated. He's 6'3" as well. I mean, he's nothing special at all, don't get me wrong, but he's definitely better than Corvi. And there we go, guys, the second transfer of 3 that we're allowed in this window, but honestly, I feel like I'm going to leave it there. I have been through this list for about 10 to 15 minutes, no exaggeration, and the 2 players that I brought in are the only 2 players I can realistically justify bringing into the team, so honestly, I think that is it for this window. But our season has only just begun as we are once again back in the UCL in Group G, this time alongside Arsenal, Braga and Malmo, and this is a little bit tougher than the last group we were in when we were in the UCL. But I've got full faith in this team to get the job done this year, man. Remember, we're after every single trophy this season, and that is definitely not changed. I'm absolutely expecting to win the quadruple no matter what. Unfortunately, though, I don't always get what I want, guys. We did finish second, however, but we were nowhere near AC Milan. As for the Coppa Italia, we got knocked out in the quarters by Napoli, and we aren't even in the Super Cup, so we are 0-3 right now. This season isn't looking so good, is it? We're in the UCL, it's a different story. We topped Group G, undefeated, 16 points from 18, and we go right to the round of 16, where we just about get past Barcelona 5-4 in aggregate. Oh my Christ. And then we get our revenge on AC Milan, knocking them out of the UCL. Or have that, Milan. You can have the title, we'll take the UCL. Well, we have to get past the semi-finals first. But that's exactly what we've done, beating Leverkusen 4-2 on aggregate to do it. They must absolutely hate me at this point. I think it's safe to say they're no longer my bogey team. But as you just saw, we are playing Atletico Madrid in the final, and honestly, guys, apart from a couple of plays, we should absolutely wipe the floor with these guys. I mean, their best striker is Nicholas Jackson, for God's sake. If we don't bang goals in left, right and centre against these guys, there's something wrong. Especially when our strikers have done this. 27-3 for Adrian, 25-8 for Dennis Mann, 17-15 for Huerta, and 10-5 for Tommy Doyle. But I don't know what it is, but we can't find a good attacking midfielder. 36 games Dani Olmo's played, and he's got 1 goal and 1 assist. What is that about? But nevertheless, guys, this is the team heading into the UCL final. No injuries, no suspensions, our strongest team, beautiful. But what I'm most proud of, only 3 players are regens in the entire starting 11. 8 out of the 11 are real, and honestly, in free agent videos, that's so hard to do. But now we have the chance to do something even better by winning Parma their first ever Champions League trophy. All we've got to do is get past Atletico Madrid to do it. Here come Atletico early in the game, 15 minutes in. Iro Bugno, whatever his name is, he's taken a shot and he's put it away. 15 minutes in, Atletico go 1-0 up, and that is not the start we were after. Iro Bonham is his name, I do believe, but he puts them 1-0 up, and guys, we've got a mountain to climb already. But we got Hassan on the ball. I still don't know whose regen this guy is, but he's got the ball to Man. Dennis Mann from Season 1, the OG player. Can we spot anybody inside? He's taking it too much by himself. Here comes Burnaby, though. We're pushing forward nicely. He's got a lot of space to run into. Oh, bloody hell, what a tackle. Hang on. How has he still got the ball after all that? Burnaby's still there. And he's eventually tackled there. Fair play. Here comes Ataro, though, coming down the left-hand side. Cesar Huerta. Is he onside? I do believe he is. Cesar Huerta from Season 1. Can he put us 1? Oh, my days. What a save from our Black. Hang on a minute, that's a penalty, ladies and gents. It says failed Travala. It must have hit Declan Rice's arm, and it is a penalty. You cheating sod. And you know what? We're going to give it to the man who won the penalty, Burnaby. Top left bins. It's going to go, and he's put it away. 37 minutes on the clock. We are 1 apiece. Oh, Atletico Madrid are coming forward once again. The goal scorer, I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name, is on the ball. What a tackle. Atletico Madrid coming forward early in the second half. That's a great ball to Schlage. And oh my God, he has just missed an absolute sitter pretty much. We got away with that. We can ill afford any silly errors like that. But here we come again. Man is on the ball. He's cut inside really nicely. He's so knackered though. We're going to cut inside once again. We found our striker, Adrian, and he's made no mistake about it. 2-1 ahead we go thanks to a beautiful ball from our right winger Dennis Man to our striker Adrian, and he puts it back of the net. Beautiful. But Man is absolutely knackered. We are going to put Oscar Bob on. I mean, he's not as good as him, but he's got a lot of pace, so that should make up for his lack of ability. But Atletico Madrid are not sitting back at all. Schlager's coming forward now. The man who should have put Atletico 2-1 up, but we do get the block in Atado. What are you doing that for, you donkey? The goal scorer's on the corner. That is a beautiful ball straight into Turk's hands. Lovely stuff, lad. But here comes Burnaby, the penalty taker, goal scorer. We're going to go inside to Cesar Huerta. Not quite the ball we wanted, but he's got it in the end. Huerta still on the ball. Can we feed it inside? Oh, just can't quite get it to we want it to. Atado's coming forward now. The youngster is on the ball. He's on the left-hand side of the pitch. He's looking for somebody in the box. Can we find the player that we're after? What is that? Atado once again on the ball. A little oh, that's beautiful. Oh, we can't quite get a striker on it. Here comes Luka Jovic. Oh, look at that for defending, man. We crowded him so quickly. Atletico are running out of time. It's the last chance of the game. Can they put it? Oh, what a save from Turk. Oh my God, that could have potentially won us the game. Game-winning save indeed. They've thrown their keeper up as well. Oblak, can we get this ball out? Yes, we can. Get there. Just clear it. Get it out. That's the full-time whistle. We have made Parma the best team in the world by beating Atletico Madrid 2-1 in the UCL final. With only 3 agents, we've absolutely smashed it, lads. That game was a lot tighter than I thought it was going to be. For God's sake, they had Nicholas Jackson up front. I thought we were going to wipe the floor with them, but apparently that is not how it went. They gave us a right good game, but eventually, guys, we were the better team and we have won the UCL. And that means our job with Parma is done. But don't worry, if you enjoyed me doing this with Parma, you should click right here to watch me do this with Rotherham United.